was that? What? What's that sound? Where? It's aliens and they're living in your town. Damn. They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town. Are you scared?
Hello, weirdos out there in Weirdo Land. How the heck is everybody doing? Have the whole band together tonight, and what a lovely night. How the heck's everyone doing?
Fantastic.
Doing well.
And happy Groundhog's Day.
Yes, lest we forget.
Now, we got an email. Let's start off the show right away. Dear Weird Whatever, why do we have so many weird holidays? When I say we, I'm talking you. I think it's so stupid. Who gives a shit about Groundhog's Day? Why do you Americans have to celebrate every stupid thing? As a French person, I find it dumb. Could you explain, please? Beckett, do we celebrate too many nonsensical things?
I think you can make a case for some things, but I think it's good to celebrate things. I mean, like the French, they're like the Parisians especially. They don't never work. Like they take time. They take time off work all the time.
Right off the bat, Beckett.
Coming in hot.
Good God, Beckett.
The Parisians are infamous for not wanting to work and enjoying life, and I think.
Jeez, Beckett's trying to start a war here at Denny's.
But freedom fries. But I think it's good. I mean, I think that summer vacation existed. Vicky probably can confirm this because the kids used to work at the farms, and that was like the reason I think they originally did summer break. But then I think whether it's the weekend or summer break, Christmas vacation, different holidays we recognize. I think you can go overboard on anything, but I think it's good. It's good out of 365 days to have a couple handful of things that you recognize and you take a break for different kinds of people, different events in history.
Vicky, do you like the holidays? Do you like the weird ones? Even Groundhog's Day is kind of one of those ones from old school. I remember celebrating that as a kid, but we're getting real crazy with some of these wacky holidays. I like them. I always like to celebrate, but your thoughts?
Well, I mean, the thing is, he's also assuming that the most of Americans do actually celebrate some of these rinky-dink ones. And no, like myself, you're lucky you have me show up at Thanksgiving and Christmas. Definitely Halloween showing up, though. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, there's not a lot of us that really like groundhog. I live in Florida. What do I care about the groundhog?
I feel like that one line in the email almost sounds like a bad villain from an 80s movie. Why'd you Americans have to celebrate? Step off.
I think a lot of them are just old, carried over. Like you were saying, they were off for that time. You had the groundhog. I'm sure they correlated with a lot of stuff. I think Halloween was after the apple harvest. So it was kind of part of their tradition. I don't know. Some of these just kind of carry over, and then they just get carried on through generations. I don't think anyone even knows the original concept of a lot of them.
Look, I think life is weird, and there's some, we all go through ups and downs. If there's a way to celebrate anything, I'm always for that.
Yeah, and it was the inspiration for a phenomenal Bill Murray movie.
We talked about that today on the morning show, or maybe even off the air. I can't remember, but it all kind of blurs, Beckett. But yeah, does that movie still hold up in your opinion?
Oh, it 1,000% holds up.
Vicky shakes her head in disgust.
I was never a fan. Was never a fan of that movie.
What was it that annoyed you?
Well, ironically...
It seemed repetitive.
Yeah. And, it reminded me of when they decided in Palm Beach County that teachers were going to departmentalize. So I had to teach... I'm an elementary school teacher, and I wanted to teach every single subject one time a day for each one. Well, we departmentalized, and I had to do the same thing in the afternoon. So every single day, in my mind, it was Groundhog Day. Here I go. I got to do the same thing again.
Yeah, I think the movie still holds up.
I think it's funny because it's not... I don't know. It's not necessarily a comedy, though it is. It's almost, because it's pretty heavy sometimes. I mean, he gets depressed and he kills himself in the movie, but keeps coming back alive, forever. And then I think it's almost a movie of when you get that much time, what do you do with it? You're granted this thing. And by the end of the movie, he learns to play piano. He does a ton of stuff. It's almost just a life lesson to let kind of reflect upon.
To go back to the goofy holidays, I'm all for having Monday be... Oh, it's National Pretzel Day. Get crazy with pretzels. Don't mix a Monday with National Pretzel Day and then it's also National Turkey Wrap Day. Let's space it out a little bit. Let's give its shine. If it's going to be National Pretzel Day, well, shit, let's celebrate the pretzel.
Well, that's the problem. Right now, we have too many. There's a. So I'm going to pull it up right now, but we look all the time for the KVJ show. What national day is it so we can talk about it on the show?
If there's a bit or some kind of weird thing we can do, yeah, Denny's is right.
Although it is Groundhog's Day, it'll also be 17 other ones. It's also Tater Tot Day. It's also Heavenly Hash.
I do like tater tots.
Oh,
National Heavenly Hash Day caught my attention until I saw it's some sort of dessert.
Heavenly Hash. Well, yeah, Heavenly Hash is delicious ice cream, right?
Yes, it's some sort of like ice cream chocolate thing. I was thinking the other hash. I didn't even know that was an ice cream variant. But yeah, see, it's an Optimist Day. So now you're convoluting it. There's too many days, and some days will have 14 on them.
Do you find that holidays at all bring in more paranormal activity, Vicky?
No.
No significance whatsoever.
I haven't personally found that they do, except for Christmas. You will see a lot more visitation from loved ones who aren't normally in your home. You will see things show up in pictures and things like that just because they're visiting, because they're, part of the family.
Well, could you say if a family didn't really love Christmas, but they loved October, same thing could happen for October, depending on your situation?
Yeah, if it was a big family event, yeah.
I'd have to imagine Halloween definitely has a blip up, no? It's more Christmas than Halloween?
It's because most people aren't going to... on average, the family didn't probably do a big thing on Halloween. I'm talking about visitation as opposed to, earthbound
Activity.
stuff.
Yeah, if you had to guess, what day of the year is the most haunted? If you had to guess.
Where the most
Where
spirits are here.
it is just going fucking ham with spirit
What
activity.
about New Year's? You think that'd be a big day? Not New Year's Day, but New Year's Eve.
I'd still have to go with, I think we have the most visitations from the other side on Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my original answer.
All right, I love it. Well, I think it's time to go ahead and just right into Ask Vicky.
Love
Love it. Very good. Nice, guys. I love it. Great job. Ask Vicky. We ask our expert here some ghostly questions, Denny's. Okay, so what are the 3 signs of demon possession? For example, is there a difference between a regular ghost possession and a demonic? And if it's demonic, what are those kind of symptoms one would see?
Right. In the very beginning, the things are going to be exactly alike. You're going to have knocks and things like that. Then you're going to start seeing things being a little more distinct. You're going to have your knocks, if you have them. They're going to usually be on a door, and they're going to be in a pattern of 3, typically. The person you're going to see, the target is going to be start to have sleep deprivation. They're going to start acting out of character. Things in your household, instead of, a little water bottle moving, your refrigerator might move. So demons will, actually move larger objects. And, you just watch. Typically, there's one person who's going to be the target, and you need to watch for their behavior and see how it changes, because they're going to act. And the thing is, they're not going to remember what they did. So there might be times where they're, very aggressive towards somebody and there's something going on. And then you talk about it later and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And they're not lying, because at that point they might have been taken over.
Denny's, you hear, talks of aggression, being taken over. Ghostly
Possession.
activities. Yeah, thoughts.
Possession's an odd one because that's one that's shown up through history a lot. I mean, not that hauntings haven't, but where they have cases of people that feel legitimately possessed. Now, who's to know? It's you're reading back on it, but I guess out of all, that seems the most likely because that's such a powerful entity compared to an earthbound spirit of some sort.
Well, I don't know if you guys have ever seen video of
there
or
is
footage
some pretty compelling stuff
of
out there.
possession. Well, you would just think if they are acting, they all would have to get into a room and go, all right, guys, we got to hit our marks. You as the possession,
You're right.
you got to really, you can't break character. You got to act like you are just insane if this was a fake kind of a thing. And that means the parents would have to be involved or whoever the loved ones are. It would take a good crew. Couldn't you smell it out quickly if it was fake?
Well, here's the thing. They're very rare. Actual possessions are extremely rare. Number 2, you could be dealing with mental illness. Now, anybody coming in who's a professional to try to figure out if it's actually a demonic possession, one of the first things that person's going to have to go through is be evaluated by a psychiatrist and to look at to see if you're dealing with some type of mental illness. There was, the Warrens had written a pretty famous book. I think it was called Werewolf. And it was about a man, I think it was over in England, and they thought he was possessed, and he would literally change his facial features and stuff like that. I read the book. I personally think the man was mentally ill. And I think he also suffered from some type of trauma. And so those things came together. So he would not that he was doing it on purpose, but there were other underlining factors that were making him physically change like that. That's just my opinion. I don't think that one was a true demonic possession. But anybody who's worth their weight, who actually knows what they're doing, you are going to have to go be evaluated by a professional.
Isn't there a possibility that a mental abnormality might give ability?
Absolutely.
Like for example, like we talked about
a savant.
A savant or someone that's autistic can sit down and just by ear play Mozart on the piano, for example.
That man, he believed he was a werewolf. So I think he mentally was able to manipulate his body.
He believed it so greatly.
So, yeah.
I kind of feel like the whole brain, there's certain parts where, I don't know, maybe they're not all turned on in my head. Maybe some of the buttons are turned on. And I feel like the whole savant thing makes me feel there's something going on there that we don't quite understand. Someone gets hit in the head and now they can play piano.
Everything in your body.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
And then if somebody comes in to figure out, there's a series of tests. I don't want to say all of them, but one of the ones is if they have, some kind of, they're repulsed by anything of a religious nature. So they're going to react to a cross. You can also, before you go someplace, a little trick is that you put holy water on your hand, you let it dry, and you make sure that you touch them, because they shouldn't know that you have the holy water on. So if that happens and they're repulsed by that, there's a chance there might be a demonic
because they wouldn't know about it.
Yes, because they would not know ahead of time that you had done that.
Oh.
When it comes to your psychic abilities, this person, I believe their name is Shane. Yes, it is Shane. The closer we get to the end of her life, the more psychic we become. A psychic medium once told me, he says, is this true?
I would say that the closer to going to the other side of the veil that you are, I would do that. Plus, you've also had many years of experience just in life in general, and that gives you knowledge that you didn't have when you were 20.
I had an English teacher back in high school, Mrs. Adams, and she always would talk about how, and she was a little bit older at the time than my other teachers there, and she always said, in my life I noticed that people who did not believe in God or believed in spiritualism never came to church, would always curse this, curse that, and then the older they got, you started seeing some of them kind of trickle into church just in case. Don't you feel like the older you do get, you kind of reflect and you start to kind of tap in more of the spiritual side of yourself? I think a lot. Not to say ego doesn't dominate people in the elderly years, but I would say there's a lot of ego when you're younger and you're trying to compete and get your place in the world. And I think ego really shuts off the spiritual side. And when I say spiritual, I'm not even talking in the God-like. I'm just talking about being a little bit more connected to your fellow human and being a little bit more down to earth and peaceful with yourself and connected to everything.
Yeah, because the older get, too, you don't worry so much what other people think. So you're more your authentic self because you're not worried about society and what they might be thinking of you.
I can just see somebody kind of rigid in the beginning saying, that fucking doesn't work, then kind of melting. Not everybody. There's only a Sith speaks in absolutes, Denny's.
You're right.
And then the last question, Vicky, this is from Debbie. My 5-year-old daughter wanted to ask Vicky this. Do ghosts fart?
Ghosts can create not so nice smelling smells.
Can they be audible though?
To hear the fart?
If you have is there such thing as a farting ghost?
Has there ever been an EVP of a fart?
That's a great question.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but it was my team member. So.
But Beckett asks a very pointed question.
But if a
there.
ghost is known for that, that's their
Yeah,
thing.
anything is possible, but most of the time you would get the smell without the sound.
But this is what the naysayer would say. They'd go, "Okay, Vicky. Well, how can the ghost go boo or say something in your ear, but it can't fart all the time?" Which I would think would be such a common thing ghosts would do.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not that it can't happen, but more than likely you would smell the smell instead of hear the sound.
They're not strong enough to make it audible.
But why would that's where again the naysayer would go? Why are there not more reports on ghost farts? Because clearly, at least 30% of ghosts would want to use that kind of power.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I mean, I don't know anybody who strives to fart and want it to be their thing. I know.
You, Vicky.
I know.
Teenage ghost.
Yeah, you never played ball with a bunch of teenagers.
But still, I mean, if that's not what they're known for, like Denny said, if it's, anything that you're known for would be something that you would reproduce so people would realize it's you. If you're not known for your farts, you're probably not going to choose to do that.
Okay, but if you were known in your earthbound life, I'm spitting Sean, and I like to spit all the time. I'm spitty. Sean dies. Now he wants to spit on people. Can Sean the ghost create a way to spit on Beckett if he doesn't like Beckett?
Probably if he's really, really good at figuring out how to manipulate the environment.
We're talking the guy from Ghost on the train with Swayze level. That guy. He was good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about.
absolutely.
Yeah.
May I do a quick Ask Vicky?
Just bring it.
So I was thinking about it a lot because I've been watching like the war in Ukraine and stuff like that.
Oh boy, here we go.
I was just wondering if war has a lot of spiritual activity because there's obviously a lot of death, a lot of hate.
Yeah, places
Right.
where war battlefields.
Yeah,
possibly.
Yeah,
it's
like-
usually leftover memories. So there's going to be a lot of problems and a lot of activity after everything's said and done.
Because the Battle of Stalingrad, there's 2 million people died in that battle. So I would expect like Gettysburg.
That's what we've heard many a time. It's very haunted.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because, and that's partially because some of those are going to be what I call place memories. And it's actually the energy from that event is absorbed into the earth. And then when the conditions are just right, it's just like pressing play.
Wow.
And it will replay itself without having an active spirit there. It's simply the replaying of a memory.
Wow.
Huh.
Good stuff, Vicky.
Yeah,
very good
that's very
stuff.
good. We think. What about because Britain was getting bombed during the war, and so many people had to have been killed there too. I mean, that must be just grounds for haunts, or those maybe like echo memory type things. Huh? Never thought.
So we all know we got the Florida skunk ape, all that kind of stuff, but there's so many more creatures like that in the cryptozoology
The
world.
Mothman,
There's
Loch Ness monster.
So many others. I wanted to kind of quiz you guys and see what you guys thought. I'm going to give you a state and tell me what is the main cryptozoology animal here.
All right.
And it's cryptozoology.
Yeah.
Beckett.
Cryptozoology.
No, they'll go over your ass if you don't say it correct. Zo. All right. Alabama. What is their cryptozoology creature?
Alabama.
Which, by the way, this is I would say maybe 5 in the U.S. that this is their main mascot-y type thing in their state. And
All
I
right.
thought it was kind of weird.
It's not a Bigfoot or something.
It's not a Bigfoot. This is the number one. Now, again,
It's not Jersey Devil. It's not Mothman.
it's not Mothman.
It's not Loch Ness.
It's none of those.
It's like a Dracula.
I
You're-
think Texas has something different. I don't think it's in Alabama.
Denny's is starting to warm up.
Nah,
yes, you
vampire?
are. It's not vampire.
Is it werewolf?
Arr!
Is it really?
Oh,
Huh.
Alabama.
Alabama, Arkansas is the Don't you have connections in Arkansas?
Yeah.
Please ask if the werewolf is common
Is
knowledge.
it called the Arkansas werewolf or the Hills werewolf? Anything of that nature?
No, I don't have specifics on that. I just know that this is the face of, and the way they kind of got all this knowledge was through Google searches and web searches and all that shit in this state. So they go, well, it's the werewolf in Alabama.
That's so odd. Right? Does anyone else think that's odd that there's...
Yeah, because somebody wrote a book about a werewolf type creature, but I think it was in Wisconsin. So I would have guessed that.
That's
in that place.
Wisconsin is the Wendigo.
Oh, the
Oh, okay.
Wendigo. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the Native American spirit.
All right, West Virginia is what?
Mothman.
Boom.
It has, yeah.
South Carolina.
Go on and raise up.
Which I'm kind of surprised on this.
I'm horrible at
This
this
is
game.
this is yeah. I think everybody.
Is
Honestly,
it Ant-Man?
no, it's the
kidding.
Loch Ness monster. What? How does the fuck does
I
that
don't know
work?
about this. What? Why? I don't get that.
It's
Why would-
swampy. It's swampy in South Carolina.
But Loch Ness is a
Loch
specific
Ness.
location.
Yeah.
But I would say I think they're trying to say there's some kind of serpent sort Loch Ness monster type in there. Yeah.
So don't they consider that then kind of like is it a Plathiosaurus, that weird dinosaur that looks like a brontosaurus with fins? It's kind of one of those.
But then I would go ahead and say, well, that's just a dinosaur that lived through all the times like a cockroach.
Like a crocodile.
yeah,
Like a
crocodile.
That'd be a good bumper sticker, like a crocodile. All right, Colorado. And then we'll end this game.
Colorado. You think it would be something Wendigo or something down that route?
Wolverine.
I want some I want some spaghetti.
Meatballs? Is the meatball monster?
Yeti rhymes with
So I went completely wrong direction.
I did give you a
I
terrible.
thought maybe there's a meatball monster out there.
I set you up for failure.
Really?
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Yeti?
I should have got that because every single store I went to, you could buy Bigfoot stuff.
That does make sense.
Oh,
there is a lot
yeah.
of Bigfoot stuff out there.
It's crazy. There's parts of the country where you can walk into a town and it is just knee deep in Bigfoot shit, Beckett. And I'm at peace when I'm there. I love it so much.
Weirdly, I think you're more inclined to see a UFO out there. If you go to the Gardens of the Gods and you hike to the top, you can overlook the entire valley of Colorado Springs. You must be, I mean, you're so high in the air. You see fantastic stars, just things you can't see with light pollution. It's really incredible. That would be your best possible place to find a UFO, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think there are stuff, there's sightings out there.
I know that they claim that there was a UFO once, at least if you take the park tour. If you ever go to the Gardens of the Gods, it's pretty cool, and they sell Bigfoot stuff. But they give you a tour, and they talk about the spot. But there was one spot they did claim that multiple people did see a UFO at, which I guess then became a hot spot for people to look for UFOs. So I don't know if they ever had it happen again.
Vicky, in our lifetime, do we see aliens? Do we know that they're here?
I mean, I think with anything like this, nothing is ever going to happen where everybody is convinced.
Even if
For
we
sure.
brought in alien Heidi and we sat her down.
I think everybody will say that it's a fake, that we created it, you guys worked on a costume. I don't think we'll ever satisfy. And just like people are like, well, how come you don't post evidence or you don't, try to put those things out there? There's nothing I could ever do that's going to convince a skeptic. The skeptic has to experience themselves. And the same thing with you. I think there's always going to be somebody who's like, that was fake.
I think if we have a full-fledged Independence Day attack,
There'd still be somebody saying that it was a conspiracy theory. This happened because it's this certain part.
Well, there's
either-
still people that think the Earth is flat. But
So we go. Somebody would say it's Biden's fault. Somebody would say it's Trump's fault. Why the aliens are here? There'd still be some fucking fighting going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Weren't they supposed to do that cruise, too, to see if the Earth was flat? They were supposed to go and see if they could go off the edge.
Columbus.
Yeah. You're right. It's something that happens.
Man, the internet would make it seem that there's a growing movement of flat earthers that really believe it. The internet can make the world seem not as it is. We've talked about that before. It's a big trick. It's a parlor trick, the internet, especially social media. It makes you think the world, if you get caught up in that world and you don't get offline, if you unplug a little bit, I think you're cool. But if you are staying plugged in, there really is a psycho. I've just seen it happen to too many people to know it's not a real thing. You start to think the world really is what you're reading all the time on social media, and that's just not true.
100%. Well, on a microcosm, we've talked about this before. Radio did that, right? With War of the Worlds.
Yeah, it
right?
scared a lot of people.
Scared a lot of people. A lot of people.
Well, back then, too, they didn't have shenanigans really on that type of platform, so that probably rocked people.
Well, because you hear that shit now and go, this shit is
you listen to it now, it's like, beep, beep, beep. Wait, this
Guys,
just
can we
in.
speed this shit up? I'm used to Netflix.
You're right.
Move a little slow here.
Come on, Orson Welles.
Well, I think with your Orson Welles comment, I think it might be
yes.
time for some
Denny's Random Facts.
Oh, sweet Denny's does a great job just hunting like a hunter on the internet.
Yes.
bringing in the meat. Vicky is our educator. She grades Denny's and all of his factoids. If she loves it, she gives it an A. If she hates it, she's been known to fail his ass. Elliot from ET, the floor is yours.
Phone home. So just to kind of tie in what we were talking to, it worked out so well. You're talking about how the brain controls so much and all these things that can happen with savants and such. Well, a Hungarian man was shot in the frontal lobe during World War I and was rushed to the hospital, and he didn't die, which they expected him to, and he survived, and they removed the bullet. But he didn't lose the ability to hear, the ability to see. He didn't suffer any brain damage, but he lost his ability to sleep. For the rest of his life, he never once slept again. It's all documented. You can look this dude up. When Kern awoke from his injury, he wasn't aware of the ability to no longer sleep, but he did never sleep again from that point. He attempted to sleep many times, but then eventually lost the desire to sleep entirely, which usually caused a lot of problems for a person because you would suffer from ill effects. But he suffered no ill effects from this. In fact, he said the worst part about it was he had a hard time figuring out how to fill the extra 8 hours a day that everyone else sleeps.
I think there's a special on this guy. I know about this story, and I could not believe this was real because I didn't think you could live with no sleep like that.
Whatever damage, it's never happened again to anyone, but he ended up developing a system where he would close his eyes for 1 hour a day, but not for rest reasons. His eyes, when you close your eyes at night, it refreshes the liquid that goes through. So he was suffering from chronic migraines from his eyes getting dried out, and he figured that out. But he lived the rest of his life without any detrimental effects whatsoever till the end of his days.
That would be such torture.
Dude, never ever sleep again.
I'm a person who really, really struggles with sleep problems, and it is torture.
But you wouldn't have the ill effects from it. It would be as if you just got the ability from a god to no longer have to sleep.
Yeah.
You just granted a new ability that no one else on the planet possesses.
Those extra hours a day.
He started reading. He started learning stuff. He said he just didn't know what to do at the time. He became a very red person.
If there's no ill effects, Vicky, I mean, that kind of blows my mind.
No, I kind of like that. And it actually touched my heart because I haven't slept since Saturday night.
You haven't?
No.
At all?
Oh, no.
No, at
Not
the
a
most
week?
2 hours. 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Since, I'm sure you can relate, but 2 hours. Saturday night I slept well, but every other night since about 2 hours.
I can feel you on that.
Yeah. So
We'll
that's an A.
We'll talk about it after the podcast. I like it. All right. Not that you can't sleep. I like that you can relate.
So I guess to keep it on the heartwarming topic, I found
like
this.
E.T. Turn on your heart light.
There's a cafe. I love this idea. We're always talking about robots taking over, but maybe this is a way we could use robots for good. A cafe in Japan called Dawn Version B is using robots in a really cool way. They hired paralyzed citizens to control the robots through a server so they can still have income. They become basically robot servers by controlling them. That way that everyone can have a job.
Huh?
Whoa.
Yeah. You don't think that's cool?
Cool.
Remember, I'm going on, sleep deprivation
I get
here,
it.
so.
So paralyzed, they get to control the robot from home.
That's cool.
What do you think, Becky?
Okay.
It's cool. I ate at a place in San Francisco called Dine in the Dark, and they make it cave black.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Virginia does this.
She just did this.
And they told me that all of the servers were legally blind. And you get led to your table, and they say it heightens your sense of taste, right?
That's what they say when you eat in the dark. You lose your sight. You gain heightened sense of taste.
You
But
don't
they hire
prejudge things.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. So I don't think the one Virginia did. I think they wore night vision goggles. But I like the concept where they're all.
Wow. Yeah, I think it's so cool. We just heard a stat. I don't know how accurate it is, but it was something where 50% of people who are blind across the globe could be cured if they had the money. 50% of people who are blind
Of sight
Wow.
ailments.
yeah,
could
they
be cured.
could be with some kind of operation. It costs money to do.
Wow.
But I don't know how accurate that because we got it off of YouTube.
For
so-
sure.
Yeah.
You gotta take it with a
Interesting.
grain of
I hope
salt.
that's true.
Yeah.
I think it was. I think a lot of it was even post. It was cataract surgeries, I believe, as well, because that can make you lose your sight.
I wish we could cure blindness. That would be, gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what Neuralink is working on. Neuralink, the Elon Musk company, that's, they're starting with veterans. Like, you lose ability to move your right arm or vision or stuff like that. It's an implant. He calls it like it's basically like an Apple Watch in your brain. It's wild.
It's pretty boss.
That's what. I could see him saying it, kind of like nonchalant. It's just like an Apple Watch.
It's
I can cure blindness.
If you don't get it.
It's just like an Apple Watch.
Again, this is just how we've evolved through time and just gotten better with, I guess, everything on the planet. So there used to be a company called Radium Dial Watches. I don't know if you guys have heard it. It was from the 1918 to about 1939, I think it went. But here's the crazy part about the company. So back then, it was the first watch where the dial would have dots on it that you could see at night, and they used radium in it. But unfortunately, at the time, I don't think they realized that it was radioactive. So there was a term called radium girls. Have you ever heard that term? So the radium girls were female factory workers who contracted radiation poisoning by painting the little dots on the watches with this luminescent paint. The funny part about it was they had signs up on how to properly do it, and to keep a sharp tip on the paintbrush was to put it in your mouth, twist it. So I guess from 1920 to about 1939, a lot of people got radiation poisoning, and this was a long trial, right? Well, so the messed up part is it was about a 10-year trial to get justice for this. And one of the judges didn't want to accept the testimony because the woman was so weak from radiation poisoning, she couldn't lift her hand to do oath. So they were going to kick her out of the trial.
Oh, my gosh.
So eventually, after 8 to 10 years, they finally won the case. But yeah, a lot of people got poisoned because they didn't know that radium was a radioactive ingredient. And it was used in a few things back then, but especially watches that glowed in the dark. It's just so messed up. The company policy had a step-by-step guide on how to keep a perfect tip. It involved putting radium in your mouth.
Oh, that's crazy. It's an A. It's an A, but God, how sad.
Very sad, Denny's.
Pretty messed up.
Right before the weekend?
So I read a story because I found that story, and I read another one. This is messed up. They were doing radioactive testing, right, in the desert or something. And an 8-year-old boy was walking home or something. He found this piece of metal. It was glowing. He didn't know what it was. Brought it home and didn't know what to do with it, and hid it in the kitchen and forgot about it. It was radioactive material, right? Well, eventually, I think it was 21 days. He died. His sister died. The mom died. The only reason the dad lived was because he worked so many hours outside the house. It kept him alive because he wasn't near the home. But that house is still considered radioactive. That's how powerful that stuff is.
They say that, man. When it comes to all that shit, it is active for quite a long time. That's why they're afraid of nuclear shit that's falling in the ocean. They just don't know what the fuck it could do.
The nuclear stuff's messed up. At Chernobyl, they had people who would go, they'd have brown eyes, and when they entered, their eyes would turn blue, and then when they left, they would turn back to brown. That's how radioactive it was out there.
Wow. I just watched a story. There was a guy in Japan during World War II that survived both bombings.
Yes.
He survived the first one. He was there on business. He got out of it, like miraculously, like escaped, got out of there, went back to his family, and then that city got bombed and survived that.
It's like that one person who was at 2 terrorist attacks. It was a woman, I believe. She was at one, and then a year later, she was at another one.
You gotta think somebody's got some shit out for you.
Oh my god!
Somebody in the universe goes, "All right, I got my eye on you, Beckett. I want to make you. I'll make you dance."
Wow, that's crazy.
Super crazy. Oh, this one's for the bird here. So do you guys know what the first ever discovered dinosaur was? We know all, like velociraptors, T-Rex and stuff, but the very first ever discovered dinosaur was named Scrotum humanum. Because, check, it was the first fossil ever found. Scientists had never seen anything. They didn't even know what it was, and it resembled a nutsack, so they just named it that. And it stayed that name till 1970. Until they changed the name to Megalosaurus.
They go, we can't. Come on, guys, nutsack.
Dude, they still referred to it in the science books as Scrotum humanum all the way until 1993 when it was officially changed. It was that name until they changed it to Megalosaurus.
Scrotum's such an unpleasant word, too, by the way. Scrotum.
Well, so the scientists looked at it, didn't know what it was, and the scientist said, it looks like a ball sack. And they named it that.
And the balls on that guy.
Oh man, the balls on that dinosaurs had balls.
But the first ever dinosaur ever discovered fossilized was Scrotum humanum.
Wow.
It's like those pickup trucks.
Yeah.
With the balls on it.
Yeah, just hanging. You know they're gonna cut you off too.
Oh, they always have something to say. They got an opinion on it. If you got scrotum balls on your truck,
Yeah.
you have an opinion about everything, and everyone's gonna know about it.
100%. Salt life.
Yeah. Here's my last one here. So we all have heard the term introvert, extrovert, but those are actually they're used a lot on the internet, but they're not as common as the middle term, which is I didn't know. There's an ambivert, which is a combination of both. It's like a Goldilocks to socializing. You're not too shy, you're not too outgoing, you're just right in the middle. And in fact, the majority of people, as of a study done in 2021, 65% of the world is actually ambivert.
We're non-binary.
What's that?
We're non-binary.
Yeah.
That guy's gets canceled. A show that brings in no money is gonna get canceled.
But yeah, a majority of people are actually ambiverts. It's less common to be an introvert or an extrovert. Although I mean,
That makes
there are
sense
out
to me.
there.
I feel like the middle of anything doesn't ever get talked about because the extremes of any situation will always get the shine and the headlines.
100%.
Because the average normal. No, average normal, when I say average normal, I mean the majority of whatever you're talking about, it doesn't get the headlines in the media.
It doesn't, but a majority of people are actually ambiverts. They're fine in both situations. They don't necessarily. They might have a preference on one, but they're cool in either.
Did that shock you at all, Vicky?
I just found out I'm an ambivert.
Nah, I would consider myself an ambivert. Some days I want to be home and recharge. Some days I want to go out and socialize.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm definitely a mix. I was the quiet kid in school. I was the nerdy jock. I didn't say a word. Oh, not a word, but like I was very quiet in school.
I was a quiet, shy kid up until about 9th grade, and then I go, shit, I got to make some moves here. I got to try to make a hand job somewhere. This is
I was 10th
I'm getting
grade.
urges.
I got my braces off. I had a buzzed head, grew my hair out, quit football, started swimming, and yeah.
I mean, the rest
discovered
is
girls.
And the rest is history.
It was all downhill from there.
The Bachelorette, baby.
Yeah, didn't get a rose. It's all led to that.
Okay, Mr. Denny's, thank you very much. That was very good. I think it's time to bring our man on the street, Mr. Joe Ponton. Last week we were talking about, was it our own version of the Mothman, the Juno Mothman? Is that what it was? Mm-hmm. So, do we have an update on the Juno Mothman? And has anybody seen the one-eyed pink dolphin, which does sound very sexual?
I actually do not have an update on the pink dolphin.
The one-eyed pink dolphin.
The one-eyed pink dolphin. I did send Vicky the series of the 3 photos that were all taken simultaneous. You know, there was no long exposure. They were all 3 quick release, whatever. I don't know.
Quick release at the massage parlor.
And then I had something lick my leg the other day, and I sent Vicky a text about that, and we just had a little conversation. I don't know if we want to have any more. I don't know if I should say anything or if Vicky should.
Just wait. It's an open case right now.
The licking of the leg or the Juno Mothman?
The licking of the leg and what's going on.
Is it possible that the licking of the leg could be the Juno Mothman or Mothwoman? I want to be fair.
Yeah, I kind of have an idea of what it is.
Vicky doesn't comment on ongoing investigations.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm like the police.
It's great for a podcast. Anything else, Mr. Ponton, that you've seen that's worth note of talking about?
You know, we're not in any cool celestial events, but there are some rocket launches coming up, and something really pretty cool that's been found a lot. There's been a lot of shark teeth that have been washing ashore again, and as Vicky said, there's a lot of toothless sharks out there. But you know, there's a ton of people out there every day that are looking. When there's shells down, look down. You know, don't have your head up your ass. Look around, but look down.
Have you ever seen any more weird people kind of screaming at the plants or just
you see weird every day, but
the beach brings out a element. Oh, I think the beach sometimes, if you're going through something, maybe the beach is a spiritual thing. I believe me, I've gone to the beach many times when I've been down and out, and someone goes, "Holy shit, that guy's so weird." Is that guy talking to the plants?
Yeah.
And that would be that would be me.
There's a woman I jog from downtown to the beach, like 6 a.m. And there's a woman that stands right there, just south of Bradley's, like on the curve by Phillips Point, and like clockwork, she's there every morning, yelling out into the intercoastal like area, like in that area where all the boats are like on anchor, scripture, like yelling scripture for a solid 30 minutes. I was like, at first I thought it was weird, but then like I like appreciated the dedication of.
It's a practice, believe it or not. Screaming out like that is a practice in some spiritual rituals.
Interesting.
Getting it out, especially if you're doing it out in nature and you're doing, especially something if you think it's a religious or a spiritual text that she's saying out there. Yeah, that can be. Sometimes people believe screaming out your emotions can release it, and then you can be at peace with it. Especially if you're doing it out at a body of water like that.
Wow.
That completely makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think a lot of people go to the beach for solace, to get answers at times.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm there at 4 o'clock most mornings. This morning I slept in a little bit. I was there at 5:30.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I know,
Yeah.
such a slacker. But it's been pretty awesome. The comet is starting to become visible. If anybody likes stuff like that,
Is that the one that's coming close to Earth?
yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
That's the one.
50,000 years hasn't been around. Supposedly coming around only this one time.
We find out 3 days from now. Oh yeah,
It's gonna hit us.
The comet's coming straight, like just right down the dick through Earth. It's coming to get us.
Right down the one-eyed dolphin.
Right, right down the one-eyed dolphin.
Poor Pinky.
How do you? They say you Earthlings have got 20 days to, chill, but it's all going down. Vicky, how do you spend your 20 days?
I can't say on the air.
Just you go full on, straight up
Oh,
crack.
wild as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's trying crack.
All the things I never did, I'm doing it in those 20 days.
If Vicky came here, if there was 20 days left and she came in here with the biggest bag of crack and goes, "All right, motherfuckers, we're leveling up together as a group. Do we all smoke crack together?"
Once.
I think I got a nod from Ponton. I got a nod from Denny's. I mean, Beckett.
I don't know. Is it supposed
20
to?
days, brother.
Is this
Only
supposed to be
20
fun?
days.
It's fuck it day. 20
Yeah,
days.
20 days. You're like, fuck it. By the way, I want to make this clear. I have no desire to ever smoke a crack.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
That
so
would
much in
not,
hell.
to be quite honest, that would not be how I would want to go
No.
out, actually.
I think mine would be a balance of family time, like a lot of quality time with the people that I love, and then the other half would be the opposite, just like more Vicky style. It'd be a lot of sex.
Would you want to, if you know, let's say the comet is an hour away and you know you'll got an hour left now, do you self-medicate to lessen the blow, get some drinks in you, kind of like an operation, when they give you the anesthesia or whatever that drug is? Or do you want to go in there clear-headed on a spiritual level and say, if I'm going to cross over, let me cross over?
No, the JMO's coming out, man. I'm getting after it.
It's gonna be hard for me not. I want to say, oh yeah, I want to be enlightened and be out in the woods with the birds and nah, give me the fucking JMO, man. I'll be too nervous.
Yeah.
Vicky.
Now I'll have one shot so that I don't have a heart attack before it actually happens. But I'd want to. Hey, if I'm going out, I might as well experience it.
I'm going out Scarface style.
Ponton.
Give me a bowl and I will smoke a fat joint and I will absolutely have some alcohol.
I want to be big
and some sex.
I want to be big and bad and say, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna fucking take a face on. A day before, I'd be getting hammered.
Oh yeah.
The anxiety would take over. I think it would take over for so many people. Denny's, Mr. Ponton, thank you very much,
brother.
my man. Denny's, what do you?
looking up, baby.
How do you handle your last 20 days if you know the comet's coming?
I mean, you'd have to split it with family, but I think you guys are right. You have to get a little.
You gotta get loose.
Yeah, you do. You kind of have to, because I mean, it's gonna be gone. Right?
Yeah, that, and then you find on the day of the comet, oh, we messed up. We're all good. Now, does that change? Let's say
Now you have to exist with everyone.
everyone thinks the comet is going to wipe out all of humanity. And we're talking, it's the one thing we all can agree on. And then, oops, we made a mistake. Does that Is that better humanity?
Well, so if it was all the way up until the comet was, and everybody's doing everything they probably always wanted to
Five,
do, knowing,
4,
And-
3, 2, 1, comet.
and then it misses, and their calculation's wrong. Now everybody has to live with everything they just did. You know?
Yeah, you're
There's
right.
gonna be a lot of all right.
Yeah, Vicky's crack party.
Oh,
Becky
yeah,
was
I'm
the only
sure-
one with some good sense.
that
I'm
was
sure
that-
people leave their spouses too and go to people they probably like lusted over or something.
It was one of my favorite scenes. Remember that movie Mallrats?
Oh yeah.
And they were on stage and they were talking about how the plane was going down and like
Oh, yeah.
everyone got real
Suitor number 3.
Yeah, suitor number 3, and then the pilot recovered and everyone just like pretended what all happened didn't happen.
So yeah, the gist is Jason Lee's telling a story. He's on they're on a plane, right? And the plane's going down. They all think they're gonna die, so they all just start masturbating because they all think they're gonna die. And then the plane corrects itself, and then they're all awkwardly next to each other. That's the story that he tells. But you're right. Now you're like, what do I do?
What do I do?
The consequences are grave.
Yeah, you're right. You want to go too full gorilla.
You don't want to get too
Or,
funny.
I don't know, do you?
Well, I think the world would change at that point. It would be a second era.
Well,
it would be so different.
You kind of feel like you ever have, you think you're done for whatever the situation is, and you somehow just get past that situation, go, holy shit, I can't believe I'm not dead or whatever, or fired, and you get away with it. You kind of have a new lease on life.
Yeah.
You can go one of two ways. You go, all right, I'm never doing that again. I'm playing it straight. I'm playing it safe. And then you go, fuck it, man. I'm invincible. Let's
yeah.
push it, baby.
It could go either way. That's what's scary about it.
It is.
Because unless you're in that situation, how would you do it?
Dear Weird and Whatever, and its attention bird, have you heard this TikTok clip? I feel like you. I always quote how you're saying, I'm aging out of Earth. TikTok is ruining the world. Amber, this is the TikTok one, Denny's, about...
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I only date boys with the name Alex. I dated my first Alex, and when we broke up, I was so heartbroken. And every time I heard the name Alex, I saw it, I would just get so triggered. A few months later, I started coincidentally going on a few dates with this boy named Alex. And not only did I reclaim that name for myself, but it was also so much easier to just maneuver in my life just with another Alex, Alex number 2, introduce him to my family and my friends. No one's going to confuse his name with my ex-boyfriend. And then when Alex number 2 and I broke up, I thought I should continue this trend of only dating boys named Alex because I could date multiple people at once and never get them confused.
There's such TikTok voice in there.
What do you mean? What are you talking about, Denny's? Come on. Beckett, tell us.
It's horrible.
Well, I mean, Amber, she said TikTok is ruining the world. I don't know if it's ruining the world, but I can tell you this. I don't know if it's helping. I really.
It's not helping.
I don't,
no.
and I know I sound old as fuck, and I'm okay with being old. I mean, that's what happens if you live on the planet. You get old as fuck. I do think TikTok is just the worst, Beckett.
Well, I'm gonna sound old because I don't get the point because Instagram has reels. So like,
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't get the point. Does everything have to be? Is this Glee? Does everything have to be like a skit and a song? I don't get it.
Vicky, what the shit is going on out there?
I don't even do TikTok at all. So
Me and Denny's are in that world. They're always just beating
Yeah,
TikTok's
we have
dick
to-
on her face at work.
We have to do it all. But I mean, that one I find to be the worst one to operate, man. The Instagram's probably the best one out of all
It's
of
my
them.
favorite. I love an Instagram reel because but to Beckett's point, it's all the fucking
all the
same.
same, yeah.
Bare Naked Lady said it best. It's all been done.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
all been done. MySpace, Facebook turned into MySpace, and Facebook turned. It's all the fucking same.
It's
Beckett.
the downtown restaurant theory. The restaurant's hot until it's not. Then they tear it down. They put a new one in, and guess what? It's hot again.
At the end of the day,
nothing's different.
It's
the
all
same damn
fucking
one.
pizza at the end of the day, Beckett.
I wish.
You're right. I wish.
Yeah.
I was out of line for saying it. It's not all pizza. It's not. You're right about that. Here's a fun little clip, and I don't know if you guys do delivery that often. Are you guys delivery people for food?
yeah, sometimes the door dasher for my daughters is pulling out of the driveway as the door dasher for my sons is pulling in. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's funny.
we do it a lot.
Do you do a lot of delivery?
I never did delivery, but then, it depends on who you're dating. Because if you're dating, you date a girl that likes delivery, you start getting a lot of delivery.
That's the good kind, Becky.
Yeah, but then
I like a delivery girl.
inevitably delivery makes you gain some LBs though.
So Beckett prefers to eat out.
No, I like to cook, believe it or not.
Cooking is fun.
And I'm not even like one of these like extravagant freak out kind of chefs. Like what I love to do, I almost wanted to put together a bachelor cookbook, right? Because my fridge always seemed inevitably empty and my cupboards and empty. And one of the things that I love is like, there's nothing to eat. But then you pull the carrots and you pull the soy sauce and you pull the Beyond Meat and then you get some frozen broccoli that you found at the bottom of the freezer and you found some udon noodles and you're like, this is one of the best meals I've ever had.
I think you started losing people, Beckett.
You lost me at the freezer burned broccoli.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
But
We agree, Beckett. Hey, look, we agree on Reels. Instagram Reels, though.
And
Instagram.
pizza.
And pizza. But there's this 6-year-old girl. She ordered $1,000 worth of Grubhub. And the clip is going to explain what had gone down.
It's piles and bags of food, and they're dropping them off at the door, so I'm not communicating with the drivers. And I said, what is going on? Why are you bringing me food? He said, I don't know. You ordered from the shawarma place. I said, no. Oh. So I think I left the app open, and he saw that when he was playing with my phone and just started going to town. So he ordered multiple orders, chili cheese fries, the chicken pita wraps. He ordered multiple orders of that, multiple orders of ice cream, pizza.
oh man,
The kid's got taste, man.
it all.
$1,000.
Fantastic.
What's the most you've ever spent on delivery? Do you know?
I think it's been with you.
Oh man, it's. I don't even want to talk about it. I've had some moments, especially if you do have a bunch of people over, and you want to make sure your hungry guys or hungry girls are fed. And I like to overdo it, just in case there's a motherfucker that wants to eat 6 slices instead of 4.
And once you order, it gets more expensive just by nature.
Yeah, what was for the Grimsley movie? The pizza.
Yeah, we ordered. I forgot how much it was, but it was a number that was shocking.
We did a scene for Grimsley at the Jupiter Theater, and we invited like 35, 40 KVJ.
So we had a bunch of people come in for that shot.
Yeah, they were in the audience for when Bruce Fluckman was
doing his comedy routine.
And I ordered so many pizzas, and most people didn't eat it either.
Well, so you ordered enough to accommodate the crowd, but only 13% of the crowd ate any. So we had to bring home 25 pizzas. It was insane.
It was a lot, and I would say it was in the upper. It was a lot because I thought it was good pizza. I got the good stuff for the people. And I think it was
very expensive.
I think it was like $600.
I remember everyone was shocked when they heard the price. I can't remember the price, but I remember being shockingly honest.
Yeah, it was awful back at.
Well, it's one thing if you spend a lot of money on delivery and it gets housed. It's another thing you spend a lot of money and it goes to waste. That burns.
I gave it to a bunch of people, but it was a bunch of people I didn't know. And I feel like I wanted to know the people.
The one guy didn't even want it.
I'm very Italian. I want to know who's getting the food. Right. It's all about food is my love language.
I love that.
Do you have a favorite delivery item? If you had to do delivery right now, what do you order, Vicky? Go.
Tijuana.
Okay, what are you getting?
They have the shrimp bowl thing.
You're in the mood for the shrimp bowl tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my
That's your
go-to.
craving at this moment.
At this moment, the shrimp bowl. Beckett, right now, you get to deliver it. It's going to be boom right here. What do you get?
Tommaso's Pizza.
Tommaso's Pizza.
Wow, Beckett.
Damn, I would love some of that shit right now.
So good.
Man, I'm so hungry.
My second choice is Indian. I love Indian food.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I love Indian food too.
I'd probably get egg foo young. That's my favorite. From probably China Sky in West Palm.
Nice.
That's my cook.
Ponton, right now, what do you get?
All of you, the shawarma chicken bowl, phenomenal.
Shawarma chicken bowl.
All of you, shawarma chicken bowl. Yeah, and for me, I think I'd have to go a pizza. Kevin blue-balled me today so badly with pizza. We talked about pizza for 15 minutes on the After the Show podcast, and it did gin me up for some pizza tonight.
I might take a cold shower.
Oh my gosh, with the pizza. And saying a cold shower during the week where I didn't have gas for 2 days is very insensitive.
Trigger alert, I apologize.
Let's do some Would You Rather. You guys down with that?
Yeah.
Before we get into our local artist of the week, Would you rather?
The rules, right?
What?
The rules are there's no way out of these scenarios.
Oh yes, it just
Oh yeah.
yeah. The rules. The rules are the rules, Beckett. And by
No
the
loopholes.
way, yeah. But
no loopholes.
yeah. By the way, Vicky, what did you give Denny's on his nutsack factoid? You never gave him a grade.
Well, so you fit scrotum and nutsack in the same story. So, I mean, it's kind of creative. So I went ahead and gave you an A.
Yeah, with
there
this
you go.
crew, come on.
I mean, that's what they named the first dinosaur they
I
ever
think
found.
Denny's is an honor student on this one, dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
good grades,
no,
kid.
No, he did a
I
great
was
job.
hyped. I was very excited when I read about the radium girls. I go, this is insane. And then I was very excited when I read that the guy's frontal lobe got shot and then he never slept again. That's the craziest thing I've ever read.
GPA is pretty high. We'll get you a bumper sticker for that car. I'm friends with an honor student.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I'd have the bumper sticker. All right, here we go. Would you rather bury every loved one you know alive while they scream in horror,
Gosh.
or have a group of heavy metal cannibals eat off all of your limbs while your friends and family watch in horror?
I'd have to get eaten. Right? But you're saying I get eaten by the cannibals while
Yeah,
my
but
family watches?
everyone's watching and they're screaming. We can't save him. Jen is watching.
Yeah, I mean, I have to do it.
They're forced to watch it.
Otherwise, you got to bury all your loved ones alive.
Okay, all right. It's a test of selfishness versus family. Beckett.
I figure out a way to dig them. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'd have to go cannibal.
That'd be rough, man.
Oh,
You'd be alive the whole time.
It's
Gosh.
terrible.
That's great. I wouldn't want to be dead the whole time, though. I can talk to everyone.
No, it would. So you think you'd be able to talk with 40 cannibals eating your limbs off?
They're like, Becky, you're so tasty.
Yeah.
Beyond
And
Becky.
then as they grab like a piece of your ass, they go up to the screen where your family's watching. Go, we got Beckett's ass here. It's delicious.
What?
Yeah.
Becky ass.
Can't disagree.
All right.
Vicky, it's easy, right? You're
Yeah, cannibal.
You're
I
getting
mean,
eaten.
my family will get over it. Trust me.
Cannibal. Yeah, I think we're all going cannibal.
Yeah,
Like this. Start off with the softball.
Moral test.
Would you rather only be able to drink a stranger's dip spit for the rest of your life, or for once a month give a 1-minute rim job to a sweaty stranger who just went number 2 in a porta potty?
Gosh.
Think about
What was the first one? I'm so shocked. I have to hear it again.
I was thinking the same thing.
The first one was rough, and then I know it's rough. I can't remember it anymore because the second one was so heinous.
Welcome to the game. Would you rather only be able to drink a stranger's dip spit for the rest of your life? That's the only thing you can never have water again. You can never have hot cocoa. Can't have eggnog.
God, have you
again.
ever accidentally drank dip spit?
Yes, I have.
I have
That's
as
where
well.
that's where that question came from. I was meditating today. I was a lot of bad memories came in today.
It's making my stomach do crunches.
It is not a good feeling. But the way this works is you're not gonna die. You still sustain life by drinking the dip spit. But if you don't drink enough of it, you will get dehydrated. You will get the
once
nausea.
a month.
You want that one again?
No, I remember it. I'm just thinking it's once a month compared to every
Vividly.
single day.
I'm going
bro.
rim job.
Yeah, I'm doing it too.
But so 12 times a year for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know that's what you have to do.
Dude, I like Gatorade, I
Sorry,
like
guys.
beer, I like JMO, I like water.
And it would be whoever comes out would be the person you're the least possibly attracted to. That's what you'd have to do.
yeah, I still have to do that.
Vicky,
Yeah.
I don't like this one.
I know.
I'm gonna go with the dip spit.
Damn, you're going dip.
Can you
spit.
put Crystal Light in it?
Absolutely
Not.
What about
Ponton. Gil Rim. Wow, got a bunch of rimsies here. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Wait, you have to answer that one.
I think I'm going. I think I gotta go. I think I gotta be part of. So I can snap into a
You're one of the...
a rim gym.
Oh, gross.
Right? It's awful.
yeah.
But dip spit. I love soda. I love flavor. I guess
You'll get plenty of it.
once a month. I don't know,
God.
man. That's such a rough drinking dip spit. How terrible. That would get so grueling. At least
Horrible.
21 of the days of the month, because a week.
And it's like bubbly spit.
It's just
Terrible.
all right. I think I should maybe not do the. I think I should probably. Just,
The next one is
I got carried away. I don't know. Would you rather, while handcuffed to a bedpost in a torture chamber, play truth or dare with a very pissed off serial killer, or fall into a 10-foot cobra pit?
Ugh.
That one's not too bad.
And then you can escape from it. A 10-foot.
a 10-foot, a 10-foot cobra,
cobra pet.
a 10-foot cobra pit.
I gotta get out of cobra pet.
I don't think you can. I mean, 10 feet, Denny. It's made of pure rock and thorns. Oh gosh. And there's also broken glass.
I'd be pushing snakes into the corner trying to climb them.
Yeah, they're all mama snakes too.
Oh, mama or mambo?
Mama.
Oh gosh.
It's a lot. Becky, let's start with you. I see you seem to have a grasp on this.
But once
one.
you escape, you're out, right? You just get out somehow.
If you escape, but dog, 10 feet, how
right.
tall are you?
You're right. All right.
I'm going Cobras.
Unless Denny's got them secret ups I didn't know about.
I'm going
I got
Cobra.
the platforms
I'm going
for
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, you're barefoot. You're also naked during that. As you guys probably you guys knew that. Vicky,
I'm going serial killer.
you're going. You think
I hate snakes.
you think you can talk? You can talk into the.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny because you remind him of his mother, and guess what? He really hated his mother.
Doesn't
I hate
matter.
serial killers.
I'd ask for truth. I just try to get truth every time.
This is a serial killer that loves the talking, loves the games, the mind games of sorts.
You have to do that. I don't think you can escape. Naked at the snakes. That's terrible. It's awful.
I think I go serial killer as well. Like a Vicky, I feel like I can change. I think we gotta go serial killer, daddies.
Yeah. I don't think you can survive the snakes.
How do you know you don't end up naked with a serial killer?
Oh, I think you I think you do. I think that we're talking different kind of snake stuff going on. It's gonna be awful, Beckett.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario.
Yeah, I'm still Cobra.
Going Cobra. You think because you are all nature, you think you can somehow be one with the group of snakes.
You could probably jump high.
I try to
too.
go like snake charmer and just.
It's a pit of snakes.
I think I'll take a risk with a lethal animal over a lethal human.
And there is something to be said sometimes. The weirdest shit happens in nature where you can be laying on all those snakes. Like, yeah, we're not going to fuck with them today.
Yeah.
Something happens.
Yeah.
Like those kids out when I went to the Peace River, there were so many gators in this one pond. I'm not an alarming amount of gators, guys. And these kids were fucking just ATVing and all right, holy shit, man, this is great. They would, as soon as they would get out of the water, 90 gator heads would come up. And we tried to tell them, me and Buff too. You guys got some bullets there. I think we all
You brought your A game.
we all
it was a
survived.
hard round.
Very good. Now it's time to support our local artists that write their own music, y'all. Getting a lot of submissions. And if you do have somebody in your life or you are an artist or a musician that writes their own original music, please send it in to me. The best way to get a hold of me to get me the music would be Jason KVJ on my Instagram. Send me all that there. That would be great. And we will make sure you get played. If you have sent something and it has not been played yet, please keep submitting it. We are getting a lot of submissions now.
I just have one promo. I finally jumped into 2023. I finally have an Instagram.
Okay.
Because I've never had one. It's at Readings by Vicky. So what I'm going to do, everybody go ahead and follow me. I guess that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And I'm going to I'm going to pull up all the people who do that, and I'm going to do the finger thing, and whoever I point to gets a free 15-minute reading.
Oh, I love it. Very good. Anybody want to promote anything before we wrap it up?
Instagram, check it out.
All right. MySpace.
Ryan B10, 10% discount on Brightline.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Ambassador.
Jason Pennington, if you see me out, I'll buy you a sandwich. Don't hold me to that, actually. That could get expensive. I'm just kidding. Okay, so we've got a great artist. I saw this cat play at a party, at Bigfoot's party. He was the guitar player there. And this is an example of a person that is next level as a performer and as a guitar player. He really is an amazing guitar player, and I thought he was awesome. His name is Mike, and I want to make sure I pronounce his name right. Mike Garulli. This is his song Caribou. Very awesome, very talented guy. Remember, send me your shit, guys, if you are a musician writing original stuff. Thank you guys for tuning into the Weird and Whatever podcast. We love you all, and
Bigfoot is real.
Suddenly it occurred to me, Century was born. I had not been awake before. Suddenly it occurred to me, the colors now were more. I had not been awake before. 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 Suddenly it occurred to me, centuries were born. I had not been awake before. Bubbling up from the forest floor, colors now were more. I had not been awake before. 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 We go somewhere cold and strange, moving further from the range, heading out somewhere it gets warm. Castles made of amethyst, say your prayers to Jesus Christ, wide awake right before the dawn. Come feed your fawn. We go somewhere cold and strange, moving further from the range, heading out somewhere it gets warm. Thought I heard you sing a song, turned around and you were gone, 7,000 miles below your feet, till again we meet.